Well, looks like we lost the war. That's really the only way to look at it. With Trump accepting or stating that this 10-point plan by Iran is a starting point to peace, for lack of a better term, this is just basically everything Iran wants. Basically, I think Iran called Trump's bluff, and Iran won. You can kind of figure Trump out after a while. He does the big ask, which is, in this case, destroying an entire nation, and most people knew he wouldn't do it. I was 90% sure that this was never going to happen. Like, he was never going to actually blow up everything in the country and starve the people to death. I didn't think he'd do it, but I was only 90% sure he wouldn't do it. There was 10% of me that went, he might do that. Iran said, nah, he's not. And of course, they put their own people around the power plants and human shield themselves as much as they could, and that worked. So the 10-point plan, what is in it? A lot of things. Let's go over a few of the ones that I think are most important. The lifting of all primary and secondary sanctions. That's honestly, that's probably the only one that is probably reasonable that Iran would probably get maybe out of this deal. Continued Iranian control of the Strait of Hormuz. Straits are governed by international laws of the sea. Even if most of this strait is under Iranian territorial waters, which not all of it is, straits by law allow ships to pass, submarines to pass, not for any reason at all. They can just go. They can't stop you from going. And now after this plan, they're going to also want to charge you to go through. They can't do that, at least not by law. But by this, they're going to try to. U.S. military withdrawal from the Middle East. Yeah. That's probably a bad idea. Or maybe it's a great idea for us. Maybe we should just get out and not be there anymore. Probably bad, because once we leave, China goes in. Probably best for us to stay there. An end to attack on Iran and its allies. Yeah, it's pretty reasonable. The release of frozen Iranian assets. Honestly, not that bad. Resolution by the UN Security Council to make the deal binding. Acceptance of the nuclear enrichment program. Kind of the whole point of Trump's war, supposedly. I never really thought it was about a nuclear weapon. They've been saying Iran's going to get a nuclear weapon for years. They probably are trying to. They are probably trying to. But so does other countries. They have them too. I'm not saying it's a good thing for them to get one, but don't be surprised that other countries have one. It's not, ironically enough, it's not rocket science to make one. I'm sure saying that out loud is probably putting me on a list, but I'm not going to go over how to make one, but the basic physics of it isn't like top secret. You can kind of learn this and make it. It's the enriching of uranium that's the hard part. The entire Tennessee Valley Authority in the United States was created to help enrich uranium. It's an entire power plant system in the southeast of the United States that is designed or was designed to enrich uranium and to provide power to do that, which is that's another whole story. Okay. The enrichment of uranium was not included in the English release, only in the Farsi, which is the local language of Iran. Okay, fine. And hold on, let me go to this other. There's a few more things in the peace plan that aren't actually in there. They want reparations. They want to get repaid by America for the damage we've done. That's literally us admitting, hey, look, we were wrong. We shouldn't have did this. Here's a bunch of money. Where's that money coming from? It's coming from us, the taxpayers. No, I'm sorry. This is probably one of the worst plans I've ever seen. And Trump's saying this is a start to peace. There's basically nothing in here that's reasonable for both sides to agree to. What this is Iran saying, yeah, you're going to give us everything we want. It's like ending World War II with Japan owning all of China, all of North Korea, all of North and South Korea, and then they get, Honolulu every other weekend. No, that's not agreeable to us. This is Trump having been called on his bluff, and he lost. And I don't really see a way out for Trump. The only good thing about this ceasefire is that you get to reload. That's it. He gets to we're probably out of missiles. They're shipping them there now. Takes a few days to get there. Well, 2 weeks ought to give you enough time to ship everything you need. That's the only thing about this plan that's worth doing. But it's too much of an embarrassment to Trump to be the actual plan. It's probably more of the backup idea. This war for Trump is probably one of the worst things he's ever done. He would have had a better chance of simply just killing the leaders and getting out. Just going after that one guy and then just picking that guy off and everybody else involved and then demanding peace. Instead, he had to actually go to war. And he's running out of time. I don't know how much longer he's going to be able to keep this war up. Congress is going to eventually force his hand, and he doesn't have a whole lot of support for this. I mean, I think the war itself has, under Republican support, maybe 37% last I checked. Maybe it's gone up. It's certainly not going up for me. This is probably one of the worst things Trump's ever done. And Trump's made a lot of mistakes. He's a good president, at least he was. I don't know about now. He's not doing as great a job as I would like. This has skyrocketed the cost of gasoline, which also skyrockets the cost of everything else. He has artificially created inflation with this. Well, I guess technically he's just created inflation by starting this war. Price of oil goes up, price of gas goes up, price to ship things to places goes up. It's all a domino effect, and it all connects. It's all connected. I might be going crazy. It's just not something I thought I was going to see under Trump's second term. I really thought this was going to be a better thing. I still like the president. I think he's a good president, but he used to be a great president. And this is not. If this is how we leave it, he's no better than Biden. If he leaves, if he accepts this plan, he'll be actually probably just about the same as Biden. Biden left Afghanistan knowing that the Taliban were coming. I guarantee, well, whether he actually knew, let's be honest, Biden probably didn't know a whole lot of things. I don't think he was in charge. There was no way that man had the faculties to actually make decisions like this, but let's assume that he somehow did. I'm sure he was informed by intelligence agencies, hey, look, if we leave, we're pretty sure they're going to take over the country. And he left anyway. And they did take over the country. This is one of the worst things we've ever done. I just honestly can't think of a way out for Trump, short of winning, and it doesn't look like he's going to win. Iran is too strong of a nation to just win with a few bombings, which is, I know what Trump is. He's not the kind of guy, I've said this before, but somehow I'll probably get proven wrong. I don't think he's going to put boots on the ground in mainland Iran. He will probably invade that island. That's the next step, which is probably what he's going to do after this. But if this fails, I don't know what's going to happen. The U.S. should not pull out of the region. Never give up bases to anyone. We always should have bases around the world. That's what makes the United States so strong. We can attack anywhere because we have a base everywhere. Logistics is what makes America a strong military power. We have a base everywhere. We can fly supplies everywhere. We were able to do this remotely. We lost, over a dozen people in this war, which is too many already, but considering the amount of damage we were able to inflict, that's actually a pretty good amount of damage. I'm not saying this was a good thing I'm not saying that the losses offset the win, or that the wins offset the losses. I think every time you lose someone in this kind of thing, it's a wasted life, especially if you accept this deal. This isn't worth the sacrifice of lives and treasure. I just don't see it. And if he accepts this deal, they will have died basically for nothing. If anything, Iran comes out of this stronger and better off than as if we would have did nothing. And if that's the way it ends, I don't know how Trump's going to sell it. He's trying to sell it. I mean, he keeps saying stuff, and it's just not... You can tell he's lying. That's the one good thing about Trump, is he's not a good liar. You know he's lying to your face when he's lying to you. I didn't believe this was about Iranian enrichment programs or their nuclear program. That's always part of it, I'm sure. It's in the back of their mind. But I guarantee that the real reason is control of the Middle East, control of oil supplies, and control of how many countries use the US dollar. De-dollarization around the world is starting to happen a little more often than we'd like. And we need people to like that dollar and use it. And use it for oil purchases. Iran's against that. We need them to be for it. And that's, I don't know. I did not see this war coming. It surprised me when it started. And it surprised me that Trump is the one that did it. And it surprised me that he's actually willing to accept this. Now, he says he quote unquote workable. This is not workable. This is getting in a fight with somebody, realizing your girlfriend's watching you. After you've kind of beat up the guy a lot, he's laying on the ground and he says, hey, look, yeah, I want to be able to be with your girlfriend, every other weekend, and you're going to be okay with that. That's basically what this deal is. You kind of already won the fight. The guy's laying on the ground. He's looking at you and going, you know what? Your girl should come to my house. She's going to give me some love. That's not a plan you accept. If he accepts this, I don't know. He will probably go down as one of the worst wartime president decisions in history. Or this will go down as one of the worst wartime presidential decisions in history. And if Congress accepts it, usually peace plans have to go through Congress as well. So the Congress, if they accept this, Congress is dumb, so maybe they would accept it. I don't know. What do you guys think? Is this something you guys think is a good idea? I don't think it's a good idea. I think this is one of the worst things I've ever seen. I just can't find anything that says this is going to be a good thing. I don't know. What do you guys think? Leave me a comment below this talk. I'm curious to see what the world thinks about this. Still going for Trump, but not as hard as I used to. I used to think he was a better president than this, but apparently he is no different than Bush and the rest of them. Which he's still slightly better than them, but slightly better was not what I voted for. Anyway, have a blessed day. I'll see you next time.